The European Union Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell is in Beirut for meetings with Lebanese officials. He's there for talks on de-escalating the cross-border conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. Earlier, Borrell visited UN peacekeepers who've been in southern Lebanon for more than 40 years, patrolling the border with Israel. He urged for an end to the war, saying it is a threat to regional stability.
The war in Gaza is a horrific tragedy for the Palestinian civilians, also for the hostages not being released, that the world, it's difficult to describe. This horrific situation is something that escapes the capacity to describe, but is also a permanent threat for regional stability, and particularly for Lebanon. Across the blue line, it triggered the forced displacement of tens of thousands of civilians who had to flee from their households.
And live to our Zeina, Khodr, who's in Beirut for us. So Zeina, what more have we heard from the EU's foreign minister while in Lebanon?
Well, according to him, the drums of war have not stopped beating since his last visit to Lebanon in January, and that fears are growing that we are going to witness yet more widespread human suffering, whether it is in Gaza or because of the ongoing confrontations along the Lebanon-Israel border. Dangerous times is what he said, dramatic developments that are affecting Lebanon, and no doubt the war on Gaza has raised tensions across the region, with Hamas's allies opening up fronts to help relieve pressure on the Gaza Strip. Among those fronts is the South Lebanon, Northern Israel front, where he said it has become really a costly war, with up to 4,000 buildings, structures completely destroyed on this side of the border, with tens of thousands of civilians displaced on both sides of the border. So his visit really is about trying to prevent further escalation across the region and try to bring about a ceasefire in Gaza. But he made it very, very clear that there has been no tangible progress in ending what he called this horrific war on Gaza.
Right. And the U.S. Special Envoy Amos Hochstein is in Israel meanwhile, and this is according to Israeli media, Zeina, with a message. Just how serious is the conflict today between Israel and Hezbollah?
Well, it is serious. We've seen sporadic escalation in recent months. In the past few days, we've seen really an uptick in the violence, the intensity, the frequency of Israeli strikes. And it's not just, the actions of the Israeli army. We're hearing Israeli officials talk about widening the war. They're talking about shifting the focus from Gaza to the northern front, and that they're going to shift focus to Lebanon. So every time the U.S. Special Envoy Amos Hochstein returns to the region, the intensity of the conflict reaches a very dangerous level. He was here in August following the assassination of a top-ranking Hezbollah official, with the armed group promising a severe retaliation. So he came to the region again to try to diffuse tensions. This is what the Biden administration has been doing, trying to prevent the Gaza war from triggering a wide-scale regional conflict. Now, many don't expect Israel to launch a wide-scale attack in the run-up to the U.S. election, but no doubt many people are expecting more intensified conflict along the border.
Zeina, thank you very much for that. That's Al Jazeera's Zeina Khodr reporting there live from Beirut.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.